Hello and welcome. Let's begin with one honest truth. Overthinking is silent, but it's deadly. It doesn't make noise like anger. It doesn't shout like depression. But it kills your joy slowly, quietly, from the inside. And the worst part? Most people don't even know they're doing it. They just think they're being careful, or being smart, or being prepared. But they're not. They're stuck. Paralyzed, lost inside their own mind. Why this topic is so important right now. Today's world is loud, fast, overstimulating. You open your phone, and you're instantly bombarded by information, comparison, judgment, pressure. You are already thinking about what your friend said yesterday. Now you're thinking about what that stranger posted online. Then you start wondering, what if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if I say something wrong? What if they misunderstood what I said yesterday? What if I missed my chance? And before you know it, you're sitting in your room, doing nothing, but mentally exhausted as if you've run a marathon. That's the trap of overthinking. It drains your energy. It steals your confidence. It ruins your sleep. It damages your health. And worst of all, it stops you from living. You want to start a YouTube channel? You overthink. You want to start speaking in English? You overthink. You want to send a message to someone you care about? You overthink. And by the time your thoughts settle, the opportunity is already gone. Overthinking is a thief. And if you don't stop it, it will quietly steal your future. Why do we overthink? We overthink because we want control. We think, if I just think about this long enough, I'll find the perfect answer. But life doesn't give you perfect answers. Life gives you choices. And you move. Or you miss them. Overthinking is a lie the brain tells you. If you keep thinking, you'll feel safe. But all it brings is fear. So now, let's talk about how to escape this mental prison. Not with cheap tips, but with real, powerful, life-changing solutions that will stay with you forever. This video won't just help you stop overthinking. It will also improve your English, your mindset, and your entire life. Let's begin. Solution 1. Your mind lies. Let's begin with the most powerful truth. Your mind lies. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it's trying to protect you in the wrong way. Your brain is not built to make you happy. It's built to keep you alive. It will always prepare for danger, even when there is none. So you start thinking, they didn't reply. Maybe they hate me. He looked at me weird. Maybe I said something wrong. I failed once. Maybe I'll fail again. I feel bad, so maybe something bad is coming. But all of this is just noise. It's not truth. It's fear. Here's the truth. You don't know what others are thinking. You don't know the future. You don't know how something will end. But your mind acts like it does. It creates false stories, then punishes you with them. That's why the first step to killing overthinking is this. Stop trusting every thought. Not all thoughts are facts. Not all feelings are truth. Your brain might lie to you, but you don't have to believe it. Once you realize this, you take your power back. Let me tell you a true story. Harry Houdini was the world's most famous escape artist. He could escape from any prison, any handcuffs, any chains. One day, he went to a small town and said to the police, "Lock me in your strongest jail. I will escape in 30 minutes." They locked him in. Houdini smiled. He had done this many times before. He took out a small tool hidden in his belt and started working on the lock. He tried again and again. Left, right, up, down. But the lock wouldn't open. 30 minutes passed. Then an hour. He was tired, sweating, angry, Finally, he gave up. He leaned against the door, and it opened. The door was never locked. It was only closed, but Houdini believed it was locked, so he acted like it was. The lesson. Overthinking does the same thing. Your mind says, I can't do it. I'll fail. They don't like me. I'm not good enough. So you don't try. You don't move. You don't speak. But just like Houdini, you are trapped by a lie. The door is not locked. You are not stuck. You are not weak. It's just your mind telling you a false story. Your thoughts are not always true. Don't let a lie control your life. Push the door. Break the thought. Your freedom is waiting. Solution 2. Catch the storm before it grows. Overthinking doesn't explode like a bomb. It begins like a whisper. A small, quiet thought enters your mind. You ignore it. Then it comes again. Then again. Then it grows arms, legs, a body, a voice. And before you know it, it's shouting in your head and you feel helpless. The only way to break the cycle is to catch it early. The moment you realize you're overthinking, say, this is not helping me. I'm not solving anything. I'm stuck. I need to stop now. That single sentence is a sword. It cuts through the noise. It's like stopping a train before it picks up speed. Because the longer you stay in the thought, the deeper the trap becomes. Imagine, you sent a message to someone. They didn't reply. Thought 1, maybe they're busy. Thought 2, maybe they're ignoring me. Thought 3, maybe they're angry. Thought 4, what did I do wrong? Thought 5, why does this always happen to me? Thought 6, pain, guilt, anxiety. And the truth? They were just asleep. That's it. But your brain wrote a full movie. That's why catching the first thought is everything. Interrupt the spiral before it begins. Solution 3. Empty your brain before it overflows. Have you ever seen a cup overflow? You keep pouring water, and at some point it spills everywhere. That's what your brain does when you don't release your thoughts. They pile up, one after another, until there's no space left, and suddenly you feel heavy, but you don't even know why. So here's the solution. Write them down. Take a pen. Take a notebook. And write exactly what you're thinking. Not in a perfect way. Not for anyone to read. Just for yourself. Let your brain breathe. Because thoughts are loud in your head. But they become quiet on paper. Write what you're thinking. Why you think it matters. What you're afraid of. What outcome you wish for. And once it's out, you'll notice something strange. You feel lighter. You feel clearer. Because you stopped being a prisoner of your own noise. This is not just journaling. This is mental detox. This is survival. If you don't express your thoughts, they will express themselves as stress, anxiety, and sickness. So let them out. Your peace is hiding underneath them. Solution 4. What if doesn't exist? Let's be honest. Most of overthinking begins with 2 words. What if? What if I fail? What if they leave me? What if I embarrass myself? What if I never succeed? What if everything goes wrong? And here's the problem. You're living inside a future that hasn't even happened yet. A future that might never happen. You feel pain from an event that doesn't exist. You feel rejection from a conversation that never happened. You feel anxiety about a future you created in your imagination. That's why what if is the most dangerous question in your head. It creates movies and makes you feel like they're real. Let's take an example. Imagine a student wants to speak in English for the first time in front of a group. His mind starts screaming, what if they laugh? What if I forget a word? What if my accent is bad? What if they think I'm stupid? Now stop. What actually happened? Nothing. He hasn't even opened his mouth. But in his head, he's already failed. Not once, but 10 times. Now he stays silent. Again. His confidence dies. And over time, so does his dream. That's the power of what if. So here's the truth. What if is not your friend. What if is not your future. What if is not your reality. It's your fear, dressed as a question. What if doesn't exist. Don't let it control a life that's waiting to begin. Solution 5. Say the thought. Out loud. Overthinking is strong because it stays hidden. It whispers in your head. And your mind plays it like background music. On repeat. But there's one strange trick that can destroy its power. Say it out loud. Speak the thought. Literally say, I think my boss hates me. I feel like I'm going to fail this test. I think no one loves me. Now stop and listen. When you say the thought, it starts to sound small, weak, irrational, silly even, because your brain is emotional, but your voice is logical. Let's take an example. You're thinking, what if they reject my job application? You say it out loud. I think I will be rejected. Now your brain goes, okay. And what will happen if that's true? You answer, I'll feel bad, but I'll try again. Suddenly, the fear is smaller. The storm is calmer. Why? Because when you speak a thought, it moves from the emotional brain to the logical brain. It becomes something you can manage, control, and understand. So next time you're stuck in a mental loop, try this. Step 1. Speak the thought. Step 2. Listen to how it sounds. Step 3. Ask, is this really worth all this fear? In most cases, the answer will be no, because the thought is never as scary as the silence around it. Solution 6. Stop trying to be perfect. Let's face it, one of the biggest reasons people overthink is because they're chasing perfection. They want to. Say the perfect thing. Look the perfect way. Make the perfect decision. Have the perfect plan. Get the perfect results. And the result? They do nothing. Because nothing ever feels good enough. And the pressure of being perfect becomes heavier than the fear of failing. Let's take an example. A girl wants to start her own YouTube channel. She has ideas, passion, a story to tell. But then, what if my background isn't good enough? What if my English isn't perfect? What if people don't like my voice? What if I make a mistake? So she waits. One day becomes 1 month, becomes 1 year, and her dream dies because she was waiting to be flawless. But here's the truth. Perfection is just fear in a beautiful disguise. People don't connect with perfect. They connect with real words, real stories, real effort, real growth. Nobody ever became great by being perfect. They became great by starting. So kill perfection. Choose progress. Because done is better than perfect. And the world needs you, not your perfect version. Solution 7. Move your body immediately. Don't let the thought take over. When a thought enters your mind, your first instinct is to sit with it. You want to figure it out. So you keep thinking. And thinking. And thinking. But here's the truth most people don't know. Thinking harder doesn't bring answers. It brings exhaustion. Overthinking is not a sign of intelligence. It's a sign of mental traffic. And when there's too much traffic, you can't move. You get stuck. Now listen carefully. Your body is connected to your brain. The way you sit, stand, move, it affects how you feel. When you overthink, your body becomes still. You freeze, your muscles tighten, your breathing gets shallow, your face becomes tense. And without realizing it, your body enters survival mode. You are now trapped in your head, and your body has joined the fear. That's why the fastest way to escape overthinking is move your body. Not because it's exercise, not because it burns calories, but because motion interrupts emotion. Here's how. Stand up and walk around your room. Go outside and feel the air. Do jumping jacks. Clean something. Wash your face. Stretch your arms and legs. Jump up and down for 10 seconds. It sounds simple, but it's life-changing. Because when you move your body, you shift your focus. Your brain stops spiraling. You start breathing deeper. You become aware of your surroundings. You return to the present moment. Let's imagine someone sitting on their bed worrying for hours. Why didn't they call? What if I messed everything up? What if this pain never goes away? Now imagine they stand up, put on music, and start organizing their desk. 5 minutes later, they're not smiling maybe, but they're not drowning anymore. The storm has slowed. That's the power of movement. Don't sit there and drown in thoughts. Stand up and interrupt the pattern. When the body leads, the mind will follow. Solution 8. Replace thinking with doing. One tiny step at a time. Overthinking loves confusion. It feeds on indecision. It tells you, you're not ready. You need more time. Let's just think a little more. But here's the brutal truth. You don't need more thinking. You need movement. You need momentum. The brain can imagine 100 problems, but it can only solve one. When you act. Let's say you want to start speaking in English. You think, what if I say the wrong word? What if people laugh? What if I freeze? So you plan, you prepare, you overthink, and you do nothing. Here's what you should do instead. Forget perfection. Forget approval. Forget the future. Just do one tiny thing. Speak one sentence out loud. Record one voice note on your phone. Write one line in a journal. One small action is more powerful than 1,000 perfect thoughts. Because it teaches your brain. We are not here to be afraid. We are here to move forward. The longer you sit, the more scared you get. But the moment you act, even a little, the fear loses its grip. Let's say you want to apply for a job, but you overthink the email, the resume, the perfect sentence. Instead, just open your laptop, write the first line, save the draft. That's it. Tomorrow, write the second line. That's how you beat overthinking. One small movement at a time. You don't need to finish the race today. You just need to take the first step, now. Solution 9. Limit your decision time. Clarity lies in action, not delay. Many people believe that time brings clarity. So when they feel confused, they wait. They wait for the right moment. They wait for a sign. They wait for everything to feel perfect. But time doesn't always bring peace. Sometimes time brings more confusion. You start with one question. Should I message them or not? Then an hour passes. Then 3 hours. Then you've written and deleted 5 drafts. Now your heart is racing. You're more stressed than ever. That's the poison of delayed decisions. The brain hates the unknown, so it keeps analyzing, keeps questioning, keeps circling. But clarity doesn't come from thinking longer. Clarity comes from choosing faster and adjusting later. So what's the solution? Set a time limit. Tell yourself, I have 10 minutes to decide, then I move forward. Not because you're careless, but because you want peace. Example, you're overthinking whether to say yes to a new opportunity. Set a timer. Ask yourself, what do I want? What's the worst that can happen? Will this move me forward? Then decide, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, because peace doesn't come from perfect decisions. Peace comes from chosen ones. Even a 70% decision brings more peace than a 100% overthought delay. Make the choice. Move. Adjust if needed. But don't sit in the fire waiting for the fear to disappear. Solution 10. Focus on what you can control. And let go of the rest. Overthinking often comes from trying to control the future, control people, control outcomes, control everything. But the truth is, You can't. You cannot control what others think. Control who stays or leaves. Control the past. Control what will happen next month. So why suffer for what you don't control? Instead, shift all your energy to what you do control. Your actions, your response, your breath, your habits, your focus. Let's imagine this. You sent a message to someone. They didn't reply. You think, why didn't they answer? Are they angry? Should I apologize? Should I send another message? But can you control their mood? Can you read their mind? No. So you breathe. You take a walk. You move on with your day. You do your work. You clean your room. You learn something new, because your power is in the present, not in their inbox. Here's the rule. If it's outside your control, it's outside your stress. Let go of the storm outside. Build peace inside. That's not weakness. That's strength. Because peace doesn't come from fixing everything. Peace comes from focusing on what matters and letting go of the rest. Solution 11. Accept that not everyone will like you. One of the biggest reasons people overthink is because they care too much about what others think. They worry. Did I say something wrong? Do they think I'm weird? Maybe I looked stupid in that video. Why didn't they invite me? Maybe they don't like me anymore. This pain is real, and it's heavy, because every human wants to feel accepted, wants to feel liked, respected, loved, understood. But here is the hard truth that brings you peace. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone is supposed to. And that's okay. Even the kindest, most beautiful, most talented person in the world has people who dislike them. You're not here to please the whole world, because the more you try to be liked by everyone, the more you become a stranger to yourself. You hide your voice. You change your personality. You shrink your dreams. You say yes when you want to say no. And this is the result. You don't feel loved. You feel exhausted. You don't feel accepted. You feel fake. And the worst part, you start to overthink everything you say and do. But when you accept this truth, that some people will misunderstand you, dislike you, reject you, something beautiful happens. You become free. You speak with courage. You walk with confidence. You finally breathe, because you are no longer trying to be someone you're not. Remember this. You don't need everyone to like you. You only need to like yourself. You weren't born to impress them. You were born to express yourself. So stop replaying that moment. Stop explaining your every move. Stop wondering if they like you. Instead, ask a better question. Do I like who I am becoming? That answer will guide you to peace. Solution 12. Let go of perfection. Progress is more powerful. Another silent killer of peace is the obsession with being perfect. People say, I can't start until it's perfect. I can't speak English until my grammar is 100% correct. I can't upload the video until everything looks professional. I can't apply until my resume is perfect. And what happens? They wait. And wait. And wait. And in this waiting, time is lost. Opportunities are lost. Confidence is lost. The dream begins to fade, not because they failed, but because they never started. Perfection is not your goal. It's your prison. Perfection tells you, you're never ready. You're not good enough yet. You'll embarrass yourself. But here's what no one tells you. Progress is what builds greatness. Every confident speaker was once unsure. Every successful creator made terrible first videos. Every skilled writer wrote terrible pages. But they kept moving. They kept learning. They chose action over anxiety. Let me give you a truth to remember forever. Done is better than perfect. Starting is better than waiting. Imperfect action is better than perfect hesitation. So today, if your mind is telling you, it's not perfect yet, answer back. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to be real. I'm here to grow. Let go of this pressure. You are allowed to be messy. You are allowed to be learning. You are allowed to show up, even when you're not 100% ready, because you will grow by doing, not by thinking. Solution 13. Speak the thought out loud. Expose the lie. Overthinking is powerful because it lives inside your head where no one else can hear it. It whispers, "You're not good enough. They're all judging you. You'll fail just like before." But here's what happens when you say that thought out loud. It sounds weaker, smaller, less real. Let's say you're thinking, "I'm a failure, I'm worthless." Now say it out loud. "I believe I'm a failure." Now stop. Ask yourself, is that true? Really? Is there proof? Or is this just fear talking? By simply speaking the thought out loud, you give yourself the chance to question it. You move from emotion to awareness, from blind belief to clarity. This is powerful for one reason. Most thoughts in your head are exaggerated, but you never realize it, because you never hear them with your ears. Speaking the thought exposes it. It forces you to face it, and it gives you a chance to replace it. So here's a practical tip. Next time you catch yourself overthinking, say, "Okay, let me speak this out loud." Then ask, "Is this thought helping me? Is this thought kind? Is this thought even true?" If the answer is no, then release it. Replace it with a better one. "I'm learning, I'm growing, I've made it through worse, I can handle this." Because when your inner voice becomes kind, overthinking begins to fade. Solution 14. Look at facts, not feelings. Overthinkers often trust their emotions too much. They feel nervous, so they think something bad is about to happen. They feel guilty, so they think they must have done something wrong. They feel afraid, so they assume danger is near. But emotions are not always accurate. They are signals, not truth. Let's take an example. A student finishes an English speaking test. He feels terrible. He says, "I messed up. I was so nervous. I'm sure I failed." But the fact is, he answered 90% of the questions. He used good vocabulary. He kept speaking even when he made a mistake. The fact says he did well. The feeling says he failed. Which one is true? The facts. Your emotions are important. But when you overthink, emotions become wild and exaggerated. They make you see things that don't exist. That's why you need to stop and ask, what do I know for sure? What is the truth? Not just the fear? Imagine, you text someone. They don't reply for hours. You feel ignored. You feel rejected. But the fact? They were asleep. They were busy. They were offline. That's why overthinking stops when you look at the evidence instead of the emotion. So next time you feel panic, shame, or fear, pause and say, what are the actual facts here? That one question can save you hours of anxiety. Solution 15. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You're not weak, you're human. Overthinking is often a private battle. You sit quietly. You smile in front of others. You say, "I'm fine." But inside, you're stuck in a storm of thoughts. You cry in silence. You overthink every conversation. You replay every mistake. You worry about the future. You question your worth. But you never say anything. You stay quiet because you think, they won't understand. I don't want to bother them. I should handle this alone. If I ask for help, I'll look weak. And this silence becomes a prison. You carry all the pain by yourself. But your shoulders were never meant to hold this much weight alone. So here's the truth you need to hear. Clearly, gently, deeply. You are not weak for asking for help. You are wise. You are brave. You are human. Even the strongest people fall. Even the happiest people cry. Even the most successful people struggle. No one makes it alone. No one is meant to. Imagine this. You're walking through a forest. You're lost. No signal, no direction. You hear someone else nearby. You see them. They know the way. They've walked this path before. Would you stay silent? Would you suffer longer just to look strong? No, you'd ask, "Can you help me find the way?" That's what asking for help is. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. It's saying, "I care about my future more than I care about my pride." Whether it's a friend, a teacher, a family member, a therapist, or even a stranger who listens without judgment. Speak. Reach out. Let someone hear the storm inside you. Because sometimes, one conversation, one reply, one moment of connection can stop a lifetime of suffering. And even if they don't have the answers, just the act of speaking out lightens the weight. You are not alone. You were never alone. And you were never meant to fight every battle in silence. Help is not far away. But you must take the first step. Say the words. I'm struggling. I need support. I don't want to go through this alone anymore. You'll be surprised how many people truly care. And even if no one listens, I will say this to you right now. You are strong. You are important. You are not broken. You are just overwhelmed. And that's okay. I believe in your healing. I believe in your courage. And I believe in your future. So take that step. Let yourself be seen. Let yourself be heard. Let yourself be helped. Because you matter. So now you've heard it all. 15 powerful, real human ways to stop overthinking. Not fake advice, not cheap tips, but deep, emotional truth. Written for you, not for the crowd. And as you've watched this video, something important has happened. You haven't just learned how to stop overthinking. You've done something far more valuable. You've started a journey back to yourself. You've remembered that your thoughts are not facts, that your fears are not the future, that your mind is not your enemy, that your life doesn't belong to your past. And even more than that, you've taken one more step towards something greater. Because here, on this channel, you don't just improve your English. You don't just learn grammar. You don't just listen to sentences. Here, you learn how to heal. You learn how to grow. You learn how to become the strongest version of yourself. And you learn it all in English, step by step, word by word, day by day. So if this video touched you, if even one part helped you, if you felt seen, understood, or supported, then don't just keep it to yourself. Share it, comment, let someone else know. They are not alone. And most importantly, subscribe, not for me, but for you. Because this is your space, your story, and your journey has just begun. Thank you for watching. Thank you for feeling. And thank you for choosing healing over silence. Now go live your life, not inside your thoughts, but inside your truth. You are free now. You are not your overthinking anymore. This is your beginning.